Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel Dadznight2cook, where we come and let you dads know that when it's your night to cook, you don't have to grab the phone to order takeout. A home cooked meal is only your pantry and fridge away from your kids screaming, Dad's night to cook. So let's see, tonight's episode we're going to make Dad's fabulous Fettuccine Alfredo with a garden salad and blueberry vinaigrette and a special dessert that I call cannoli pie. So let's see what's in the pantry and let's get cooking. So for the fettuccine, we're gonna start off with some pasta. So we'll need that. And remember, we're not making no homemade pasta. There's no fancy frills there, just plain old home cooking for your kids and your loved ones. So we'll need some pasta. We'll need to get some Parmesan cheese for later. Alrighty, so on our way back over to the counter, we're gonna start by the stove. I put on a Dutch oven or a pot, whatever you have. With some water and some salt. This is going to be your only time to really salt your pasta. So we're going to put a pound of linguine or fettuccine, whichever that you want. I tend to use linguine because it's a little thinner because, you know, kids like the angel pasta. So if you're making something like fettuccine Alfredo, this is a little thinner for you to go. So we're going to do that. We're going to mix that in just a little bit. We're going to go over to the counter and set all of this down. And remember, dads, when you go to the store, a lot of times they give you them little plastic bags. I usually take recycling bags, but sometimes when you forget or whatever, you have to have one of these. Use this as your trash bag. Just open that, put all your trash in. If you have to recycle, put that in later on and stuff. So let's go back and we'll start with the chicken. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get another Dutch oven and we're gonna cook the chicken and everything else in the same pot that we're gonna make the fettuccine sauce. But for right now, let's get started with our chicken. We got our Dutch pot we're gonna use, and like you know, I like to have all my seasonings ready. So I have all my seasonings laid out, and you can find the ingredients below for everything that we're gonna need. So let's get our chicken going so we can get it on the stove and get it cooking, and we'll be right back. All right, everybody, so we got our package of chicken. I got a small package of 3 breasts, and what I did was I filleted it with a knife, and then I stripped it, and then I cut it into chunks. And this is what we're gonna be frying in the Dutch oven with a little bit of EVOO, okay? Because this is kind of like an Italian kind of dish, so we're gonna go Italiano all the way, okay? So I got my Dutch oven out. And we're gonna put it on a medium heat. Just put a medium heat there, gas oven. You know, I like gas, you know. So we're gonna put some EVOO in there. Just line the pot, the bottom of the pot with your olive oil. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our chicken in and we're gonna season one side of the chicken. And then when we're flipping the chicken chunks, we're gonna season the other side. Now remember, you can find the recipe and the ingredients that you need below. And I'll always have my ingredients already ready. So all we're gonna need for this is a little salt, a little pepper, and what we're gonna do is after it's cooked and browned a little bit, we're going to put a little bit of lemon juice, just a little capful of that, just to give it some pop and some taste. Because you gotta cook your chicken, you gotta cook the chicken really good, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna line the pot with the chicken and have it start. And make sure you go and clean your stuff right away. So while we're on a little break and watching the chicken cook, I'm going to rinse this out. But I'm going to get my seasoning and add it to the chicken, right? Remember the pinch that we talked about? There's a little pinch. So pinch the seasoning of your chicken in your pot and you let that thing cook. And when we get back, we're gonna brown the chicken and I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do next because this fettuccine has several components to it. The first component is gonna be, well, I'm guilty. My kids were spoiled because I was the kind of dad that cooked them whatever they want. So let's take, for example, fettuccine. If one wanted just plain fettuccine, that's what they got. If the other one said, oh, I want mine with chicken, that's what they got. I preferred mine with shrimp, that's what I made. Some, to get their vegetables in, we're gonna put some peas in it. But I'm telling you, dads, that was a mistake I made. This time around, when you finish with that fettuccine Alfredo, whatever version you make, you put that on the table, you sit it right down and you tell them that's what we're gonna have tonight, okay? So when we get back, we're gonna finish up our chicken for our fettuccine Alfredo. Okay, while our chicken is cooking, we're gonna move over here and we're gonna work on our garlic crostinis. Now, crostini is just a fancy way of saying garlic bread. So all you need to do, Dad, is go and get yourself a hard roll of a baguette or whatever, and we're going to cut it up and we're going to put a garlic butter on there. So we got our little bread, and remember we got our little trash bag. So throw your stuff in there. We're going to use a cutting knife. And what we're going to do is we're going to just cut these on a somewhat of an angle, Dads. So we're going to go on this little angle here, and we're going to cut them all up like so. So you get little Crostini, little garlic breads. And I'm going to put the garlic butter together. So we got some butter in there. It's about half of the stick of butter, and I kind of have it at room temperature just so it's easy to mix. And we're going to take a teaspoon. That's more like a tablespoon. Ooh, that's a lot of garlic. But ooh, we like some garlic. And I'll put the garlic juice up in there. And like I told you, I have all of my seasonings mixed. So we're going to give this a little fluff. It's got the basil, your oregano, salt, pepper, and it's got some red pepper flakes in there also. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix the garlic in the butter. Mix it all up. Yummy, 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 yummy. Ooh, it's going to be good for our tummy, 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 tummy. Woohoo! Now, I got to go get my pan. What I'm going to do is I'm getting a baking pan. And this baking pan is just lined with some parchment paper. So what we're going to do is, basically, we're going to take some of this garlic butter, spread it on one side like this. And get another piece of bread, spread it on this side like that. And what you're going to do is, before you put it down, you're going to lay it on top of the other one. So you can spread the other side. You want both sides of these little garlic breads to be buttered, okay? So I'm going to do a few, and then I'm going to lay them out for you so you can see what I'm going to do. And I'm going to leave y'all to go on and do your business, and I'm going to finish this up. So you garlic both sides. You don't have to season both sides, but I like it to be garlic on both sides. And you lay them out like so. And you add your little seasonings like that. Just spread it across. Okay? And I'm telling you, these is yummy, yummy, yummy for your tummy. You're going to be, after you eat these little delicious things, you're going to be leaning like a towel pizza, just like that. Because it's so good. All right, we'll be right back. And now our chicken's brown. It's got a nice little color to it. We're going to use the same pot, and we're going to figure out what we're going to do with our shrimp. We're going to tell you what we're going to do with our shrimp. But before we go, we finish with our crostinis, our garlic bread. And we're going to put it in a 350-degree oven. All righty? So we'll do that. And we'll put it on the top rack because it won't be long for these to get done. I say about 12 minutes and they'll be ready to go. So we'll cook our shrimp. Like I said, there's different versions of the Fettuccine Alfredo that we have. So we're just gonna get some jumbo shrimp. We're gonna put our oven back on. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the same seasoning that I just used on our garlic bread crostini mixture. And I just added paprika to it. Now again, the shrimp will not take long to cook. So you gotta watch it very carefully. I'm gonna add a little bit more EVOO. Just give it a little something up in there. We love our shrimps. You know, something fell on the ground just recently, and you know, I had to go on ahead and bend down and pick it up. Bending down is not the problem, it's getting back up. Woo, this works. And then you can put the shrimp and all its juices in there because we're not trying to fry the shrimp up. We're just trying to give it a nice pink color. You know your shrimp is ready when it gets that pink color. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to drizzle in some of that seasoning. So it's just gonna saute a little bit in there. Little seasoning, and then we're gonna add our little dab of lemon juice later. But anyway, I don't believe in having animals in the kitchen when you cook. I mean, some people do, and that's okay. I'm not judging. I'm just saying I prefer not to. So my little four-legged kids are in their little cages. Now, the one thing I can't do is cats. All right, I know we have cat lovers, and I love cats. I just can't do them because I'm highly allergic. But people, when you're cooking, please make sure the cat's in a different room, because them cat hairs, they'll do a number to me. And please don't let cats walk on the counter. And please, please, if you let your cats walk on the counter, do not invite me to your house to eat, because I will not come. Or if I come and don't know and I see a cat on your counter, I'm out. I'm gonna burn the road up, get in my hoopty and burn it up. I gotta go. But anyways, so let's see. We're gonna get our shrimp in there. We're gonna just give it a little toss, because again, shrimp does not take long to cook.
Oh wow, yeah, you can smell it.
Smell it, and you can see it turning pink. When it turns pink, when it all turns pink, you know your shrimp is ready to go. So we're gonna get our lemon juice, and we're gonna douse a little bit of lemon juice, just a capful, which would equal to be a teaspoon. We don't need much. So you know, I don't do a lot of the measuring thing, but just a little bit of lemon juice, just a little splash. So okay, that was a tablespoon. So we do a little splash of lemon juice, and we're gonna let that cook off. Now, while we're letting the shrimp cook off, and I'm gonna keep a close eye on it, I'm gonna need my lemon juice. And what we're gonna do is we're going to make our blueberry vinaigrette dressing. And when we get back, we'll do all of that. Now that our shrimp is done, you can see it has this beautiful pink color. So I've turned off the stove, and I'm just gonna let them sit there for a little bit. But before I serve them up, I'm gonna remove the tail. So let's work on our salad dressing. What we're gonna be doing is a blueberry vinaigrette salad dressing. So what I've done is, last episode we made a fresh fruit mousse kind of dessert. So I had some blueberries left over from that. And so I've washed them, and I'm gonna add them to a blender. That's about 1 cup. Now, I'm also gonna add some blueberry preserve. I think I'm gonna have probably like a tablespoon of the blueberry preserve, just to give it a little pop, pop, pop that is going to need of blueberries. Into that, we're going to add a tablespoon of lemon juice. You can just use the same old one that you just used to get the preserve off. It's all going in the same place. I think we need 2. So 2 tablespoons. If it's incorrect on the ingredients, just change it up. Like I said, I like to change things up just a little bit. We're gonna add everything into the blender before we start cooking. We're gonna put 1 pinch of kosher salt up in there. No pepper needed. However, we're going to do 1 teaspoon of garlic. Now, so we are going to add some EVOO. We're going to say about a 1/4 cup. And if we need more to exfoliate it, we're going to just put a little bit more, but a 1/4 cup should do the trick. Now, we're going to do a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and we're going to do a little bit of balsamic vinegar. Now, balsamic vinegar is a very dark vinegar. However, the blueberries are pretty much dark purple black, so you won't see it. It'll just all look like the same color. But I just like my balsamic vinegar taste in this blueberry dressing. And what we're gonna also do is we're gonna add a 1/3 cup of sugar. I know you're like, ooh, that's sweet. But I'm telling you, this dressing, you're gonna kick somebody once you taste it. I mean, you're gonna kick them hard. And what we're gonna do is basically we're gonna blend it, but we're gonna, take a little break before we blend, because it's just gonna make lots of noise, okay? So when we get back, I'll show you the finished results of our blueberry balsamic vinaigrette. Now that our crostini, or garlic bread, as we like to call it, is all done, I've plated it, put it in a little basket, and we're just gonna keep it over on the table, but you can leave it in your oven to keep it warm. Now on our way back, we're going to work on our Alfredo sauce. So we're gonna need some things out of the refrigerator. We're gonna need some milk. We're gonna need some heavy whipping cream. We're gonna need some cream cheese, and I'll explain why. We're gonna need some Parmesan cheese. I have 2 bottles out because I like to use stuff up and then open something new. And then we're gonna do that, and we're gonna start on our Alfredo sauce. Now, the reason I got the cream cheese is because I know when you make a Alfredo sauce, you tend to make a roux, which is butter and flour. Sometimes I don't like to add all of that extra gluten into my meal because we're gonna have pasta. So way to thicken up the sauce, Alfredo sauce, is I use half a box of cream cheese. So we're gonna turn our pot on, Dutch oven on. Once again, it's lined with some EVOO. And we're gonna take half of the cream cheese. And we're gonna put that baby up in there. And remember, that's gonna be the thickener, okay? So scrape on all across the edges so you don't leave no debris up in your cream cheese, because you can use this for later. What I usually like to do is I like to take like a Ziploc bag and I store my stuff in there, even though we're gonna use it like probably tomorrow morning, put it on bagels. I still like to keep it closed up. I just like to have that extra sanitary protection with my stuff. Okay, so we've got the stove on, we've got the cream cheese in. One of the other ingredients we're gonna need, and sometimes when I thin out my sauce, is I use some of the pasta water. But before we start with the pasta water, we're just gonna use a little bit of chicken stock. You can just get this out your pantry, Dads, because you got a bunch of it up in the pantry. And you know, during this time of COVID-19, a lot of us are home. This is a perfect time for you dads to try out these meals when it's your night to cook. It's a good chance, you know, to get a tradition going about cooking and all of that. So while we're over here, I'm gonna put my cream. So this is about a cup still left in there. And I'm gonna need another cup of milk. So we're gonna top it off with milk. So half heavy cream, half simple Alfredo sauce. Very easy, very simple. Bada bing, bada boom. So we got our cream cheese going, and it's gonna get heated up a little bit with our EVOO. And we're gonna add our simple seasonings. You won't need any salt because of the cheese. And depending on if you have the shrimp version or not, or the chicken version, chicken is very well seasoned with salt. So we won't need any salt, but we will need pepper. So I'm gonna say about 4 dashes of pepper. If you have white pepper, better, because it doesn't change the color of your Alfredo sauce. But if you don't, just use some black pepper, no problem. Use the black pepper. Yum. So that's looking, you know, a little crazy, but it's gonna be your thickener. So while that's cooking up, we're gonna be right back and then we're gonna continue with our Alfredo sauce. All right, everybody, the cream cheese was in here with the olive oil, and we added some chicken stock to just melt the cream cheese down. And remember, this is gonna be our thickener. So what we're gonna do is we're just going to add some butter. Now, right now, I'm just gonna put a 1/4 stick of butter. Now, fettuccine has lots of butter, but we're gonna start with that. And if we need some more creamy, ooey gooiness, we're gonna add some more. But for right now, we're just gonna stir in that butter. And after it sort of melts away, we're gonna add our cream, which is 1 cup of heavy whipping cream or just regular cream, and half a cup, or a cup, not half a cup, but a whole cup of milk. If you prefer, half and half works the same way. So you need 2 cups of half and half. So as that gets to be a creamy consistency, like voila, we're gonna add our milk mixture. Like so. And if you need it to thicken up or thin up a little bit or get a little bit more drenched, then you're gonna add your pasta water from your pasta pot. And we're gonna do that as we see what more we need. Now at this point, I'm gonna put another 2 pats of butter in, because I can see that's gonna need a little bit of butter. So we've added that butter. And we're gonna let it sit for a little bit, and then we're gonna add our Parmesan cheese, and we're gonna get that all consistently stirred up together, and then we'll be ready to plate, and then be ready to eat. So we've added our Parmesan cheese, and it's a nice, beautiful consistency that we want. But before we plate it up, we're going to take a pause and show you us making the cannoli pie, which I had to do earlier because it has to be in the refrigerator for a little bit longer. So when we get back, we'll be plated up and ready to eat. All right, guys, let's start on tonight's dessert, cannoli pie. Now, cannolis are usually made with mascarpone cheese, but that cheese is so expensive, gentlemen. We are going to make a very coupon version of cannoli pie. So I got my bowl and my spatula, so let's go into the pantry and see what we got to get from the pantry that we need. We will need some graham crackers. Once again, all the graham crackers that you made those s'mores with and snacks with the peanut butter that's left over, just know we're going to need those from the pantry. We're going to need a tub of chocolate frosting. And I think that's what we need from this pantry. Let's go to pantry number 2, where we'll need some instant vanilla pudding, like a 3-ounce box. We'll need some mini chocolate chips. Regular chocolate chips works just as well also, but if you have the mini, it goes along really great. So from the refrigerator, we'll need some heavy whipping cream. We'll need some 2% milk or regular milk, whichever you prefer. It's all from the cow. It's just the way they process it, so it's all the same. The only thing that might not work is probably fat-free because it's so thin, because that's like water, white water. So we might not need that. So we have our ingredients. We'll need some sugar. Yes, for the sugar, sugar. We won't need a lot of it, and we'll need we got our trusty mixer. Old Faithful here. Remember, she's 104 years old. She has not failed me yet. And we'll need our blending things there. We'll need a measuring cup. Voila! And when we get back, we're going to assemble it all together and we're going to make this cannoli pie. All right, here we go. Now we're going to start with the process of making your homemade whipped cream. So what we'll need is a cup of heavy whipping cream, 1/8 of sugar, and what you'll need to do after we do that is you need to make in a separate bowl your vanilla pudding. You'll need 2 cups for the 3-ounce box. You'll need 2 cups of milk. That's why we have our milk. So we'll go ahead and start this whipped cream process. So you'll put your heavy whipping cream into your bowl. Voila. We'll take your sugar. Ooh, look at that spill. Don't worry about it. We just scoop it up later on. Put that sugar in there. And on high, you just start mixing. And we'll mix this until it gets to be a firm peak. All right, so we've mixed our pudding. We have our pudding here. So we're gonna go back. We made our fresh whipped cream, and we're gonna go back to the refrigerator and collect that, and then we're gonna assemble our cannoli pie. So we got our fresh whipped cream that we whipped up. Actually, my sous chef whipped up. And while we're going back, we're gonna get a pan to assemble our cannoli pie into. So what we're gonna do is we're going to get the whipped cream that we mixed and we're gonna combine it with the pudding, vanilla pudding that we have. So this is just a fold in process. So we're gonna add the whipped cream in. Sorry you couldn't see that being put in. And remember, you know how I feel about scraping all the ingredients into the bowl. So scrape it in there. We need it all. So we're gonna fold the vanilla pudding in with the whipped cream. We don't wanna mix it. We kinda wanna just gently fold it in. So there we go. You got that folding technique just by lifting it and combining it, lifting it and combining, lift and combine. Okay, we're gonna do that for a few strokes until it's all mixed in there together. And then we're gonna combine our cannoli pie. Now remember, this is a coupon version of the cannoli pie. We don't have any mascarpone cheese in there. We don't have any kind of cheese. It's just whipped cream and vanilla pudding. So we're gonna get our bag of graham crackers and we wanna lay the bottom of the pan with some graham crackers. So we got the bottom of our pan laid with graham crackers. If you wanna do 2 layers, because what's gonna happen is when we put it in the refrigerator and have it in there for a few hours, it's going to get all moist, and so the graham crackers will become a nice, juicy, gooey crust for your cannoli pie. So with your filling, with the combined graham crackers on the bottom, we're gonna add the filling. And just turn this around so you can see it going in there. Ooh, that looks so good. Yum, yum, yum for your tum, tum, tum. This is kind of like a play on an Italian cannoli that you get can get from bakeries. So, you know, I just said, let's make it a pie. It's like having a cannoli, but scrape that all up in there. Because you know how I feel again about not getting all your ingredients where you need them to go. So there we go with that. Quick rinse there. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna just smooth it out, spread it all up in there, get it all even. Like so. Yum, 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 yum. Give it a little taste. Not bad at all. Not bad at all, folks. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add another layer of graham crackers to the top of our cannoli pie. So we'll use these bits, and we'll use these whole bits. So I think probably like 3 or 4 will go again on top. Layer it like so. Use these little end pieces. We're gonna use them later. We'll do the whole and then we'll use the end pieces like that. I'm gonna get another whole piece because it's higher up, so it'll take a whole big old piece there. And here's an end piece. We'll just crack that little crack over there and cover that up like so. So we'll get our chocolate frosting. Make sure you take the foil part of the chocolate frosting off because we're gonna stick this into the microwave and put it on reheat or defrost setting of your microwave for about a minute. So when we get back, we'll put the rest of the cannoli pie together. All right, so we've nuked our tub of frosting. I put it on the defrost or the reheat setting on your microwave. We just want the chocolate frosting to be a bit spreadable. So it'll be a little warm, ooey gooey richness. So what we want it to do, it have to be very spreadable. So with a knife, I'm just mixing it up so I can get all the way to the bottom, the heated part, and mix the heated up with the room temperature part of your frosting. And we're gonna pour this chocolate over the graham crackers. La la la, la la la, like so. Look at that gooiness. Ho ho. There we go. Pour that all up in there because you know I like to scrape me some chocolate frosting and stuff out of the containers because we don't want to waste any of this chocolate goodness. Now because it's warmed up a little bit, you won't need to spread it as much with the spatula. Just kind of lay it up in there looking like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of use about, I'll say getting a third cup of mini chocolate chips. These are just the mini chocolate chips. And this will add the reverse cannoli because usually the cannoli has in the mascarpone cheese part of it has a little chips. We're gonna put ours on top. Okay. Add that like so, all over. Give it some love. Shake them things up in there. You like mini chocolate chips, don't you, cameraman?
Yeah, for sure.
He's a big fan of these mini chocolate chips. I use it in different ingredients. I use it in his pancakes and all kinds of stuff. Again, it's my youngest. That's my cameraman.
Yeah, all those extras are for me.
And then we have our cannoli pie. Once it's in the refrigerator for a few hours, we have to keep it in the refrigerator for a few hours, folks, because we want it all to just get the moisture and just meld in together. So we've plated our first plate. Like I said, I had different versions for my family. This is the first version, the ones who like it just plain. So here's Dad's fabulous fettuccine Alfredo with chicken. And this is the version of some of how my kids like it with the peas. Now let's go to the table. It's all set. It's time to eat. Well, it's time to eat. The table's set. Everyone's at the table. We've said our quick grace. It's time to do a little testing. I'm going to start with the green salad with the balsamic blueberry vinaigrette. Let's see how this is going. It looks pretty, doesn't it? It's a beautiful shade of purple in there. Or blue if you want to say it's blue. Remember, I don't pretend. If there's something wrong with it, I'll tell you something. You need to add a little something more. It's got a nice, crisp, fresh taste. Them blueberries just pop, 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 pop. So they're gonna enjoy that salad right there. Now remember I said there's different versions of this. I currently have the one with peas and chicken, Alfredo, but I have my shrimp on the side. So we'll take a taste of shrimp. If you want, you can put all of it in there. But the shrimp was cooked in some EVOO and the same seasonings that we use to put on the crostinis or the garlic bread. So we're gonna try that next, the little garlic bread. So tasty. So that's when we buttered it, put the seasoning in, 355-degree oven. We cooked it for 8 minutes. Take them out. Delicious. So now let's try the pièce de résistance. I'm trying to pretend like I speak all kinds of stuff. I don't. But this is a nice, very Italian meal that your family will love. I'm trying to get a little bit of everything. The peas, the chicken, and see, pasta. Woo! That pasta, Alfredo sauce is so creamy. The chicken has got such good flavor. Having that cream cheese as your thickener, you don't need the flour. See how thick it looks? This Italian food, it makes you want to. Ooh, it's so good. I started singing in Italian. I don't even know Italian. This is so good. Well, we're going to finish eating our food, and then we're going to have our delicious dessert. Now, wasn't that a fantastic dinner? Nice Italian dinner. Makes you want to sing in Italian. Now we're going to have our dessert. And like we said, it's a cannoli pie. You can see the cream, which would be the mascarpone, but like I said, this is the coupon version, and the chocolate top with the chocolate chips and all of that. So thanks for joining us on Dad's Night to Cook. We'll see you the next time. Please remember to share, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell so you know when the next video has been posted. Thanks for joining us on Dad's Night to Cook. See you later. About to tear into this thing.